JBN will keep you informed. Coming up in the news today, alleged gunman cut down by cops in Catherine Hall, Montego Bay. Car theft after Bojo's concert. Prompts appeal from cops to park only in designated areas. 23-year-old man killed in Augustown. No units in St. James to fight fire that left 10 homeless. And thousands face law annually for child maintenance. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items. Alleged gunman cut down by cops in Catherine Hall, Montego Bay. An unidentified man was shot dead during a reported confrontation with police officers in Catherine Hall, Montego Bay, St. James, about 2:35 p.m. on Saturday, March 16. The body is of brown complexion, slim built, about 191 centimeters or 6 feet 3 inches long, with a plait hairstyle. It was clad in a gray t-shirt, gray merino, blue jeans, and brown belt. A Browning single-action 9mm pistol, loaded with a magazine containing 2 rounds of ammunition, was reportedly taken from the man. In addition to a regular police probe, the Inspectorate of Constabulary (IOC) and the Independent Commission of Investigation (INDECOM) are investigating the incident. Car theft after Bojo's concert prompts appeal from cops to park only in designated areas. The theft on Saturday night of 5 vehicles belonging to patrons who attended the Bojo Banton's Long Walk to Freedom concert has prompted the police to issue an appeal for motorists to park only at designated parking areas for such events. According to the police, none of the 5 vehicles stolen were parked at the designated parking area for the well-attended concert, which was at the National Euro Circle. One vehicle belonging to a patron suffered only a break-in, according to a news release issued by the police's corporate communication unit yesterday afternoon. 2 of the 5 vehicles stolen have since been recovered, the police say. As a result, the police are appealing to motorists to utilize designated parking areas when attending any event in order to lower the risk of theft or damage to their vehicles and its contents. In the meantime, investigators are appealing to anyone with information that may assist in the probe to contact the Stadium Police at 876-946-1831. That's 876-946-1831, Police Emergency 119 numbers, or the nearest police station. 23-year-old man killed in Augustown. A man was shot dead in Augustown, St. Andrew on Saturday night, the police are reporting. The deceased has been identified as 23-year-old Mark Harris, otherwise called Redman, who is said to be a contractor. Police reports are that lawmen in the area about 9:55 p.m. when they heard explosions and made checks. Harris was subsequently found suffering from gunshot wounds. He was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. The police say a Kel-Tec 9mm pistol with a magazine containing 7 rounds was found during the incident. No units in St. James to fight fire that left 10 homeless. 5 children are among 10 persons who have been left homeless following a fire of unknown origin which gutted a 7-apartment concrete structure in St. James on Friday afternoon. Reports are that about 5:35 p.m., the St. James Fire Department received a call that a house was ablaze in a section of the Farm Heights community in the parish. With units from the Freeport and Iron Shore fire stations in St. James being then unable to respond because of mechanical problems, it was a unit from the Lucy Fire Station that was on the scene of a motor vehicle accident in Hopewell that responded. The firefighters managed to bring the blaze that had by then engulfed the building under control and carried out cooling down operations. Personnel from the St. James Fire Department are now carrying out investigations to determine the cause of the blaze and an estimate of the damage. Residents are charging neglect by the St. James Fire Department, but brigade representatives explained that when the call came in, both of the department pumpers were out of service. Reports said that the units at Ironshore and Freeport had developed mechanical problems for which they have been undergoing repairs. It was outlined that efforts were made to use a water tender, but that the unit had a portable pump which does not generate sufficient flow for firefighting efforts. The brigade representative said help was then sought from Lucy, from where a team that was already on the road responded. Thousands face law annually for child maintenance. Jamaican women haul nearly 5,000 fathers to court for child maintenance every year. Data from the Court Management Services (CMS) show that an annual average of 4,775 fathers are brought to court for not paying their share of child support. That number includes summonses for repeat offences and enforcements. The data from CMS also showed that most of the fathers being brought before the courts were under 40 years old. No statistics were made available on the parishes of residence. CMS did not provide data on the number of warrants served to fathers for non-compliance, but over the 3-year period, an estimated average of 61% of fathers annually adhered to court directives. However, a major flaw in Jamaican family court is that it does not have rigid monitoring mechanisms for identifying payment delinquency unless a mother makes a new report. In countries such as the United States of America, failure to make child support payments can trigger dire consequences, such as suspension of a driver's license, wage reduction, losing eligibility to obtain a passport, and being sent to jail. But children's advocate Diane Gordon Harrison said that local courts just do not have the resources and capacity to chase down deadbeat dads. The courts can only make the order, therefore, if it is that the parties are defaulting in living up to their responsibilities, the onus is on the parties to alert the court that the man has defaulted in his responsibilities. It will be very hard for the court office to be chasing 4,775 people physically in their communities every week to find out if the money is being deposited. But there's a framework established that if it is there, that there's a default, then the party who has been slighted can bring the matter to the court's attention, said Gordon Harrison. A former prosecutor in the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, Gordon Harris is urging mothers to hold men accountable for their share of the responsibility. I know for a fact that when the mother, for example, says the father has defaulted, then the court now again has the jurisdiction to enter into the fray and take steps to hold the man accountable. These steps include bringing him back to court and demanding that he pay, or in some instances, even having the men arrested until he pays, she said. Sociologist and gender specialist Dr. Lilith Dunn has chided fathers who do not stand up to their responsibility until they are dragged before the court. But she also cites gender-based inequality, such as unequal pay, as one of the structural barriers to women caring for their children on their own instead of constantly hunting down delinquent fathers for money. I think unemployment is also a factor, and therefore some of them do not have jobs or are in low-paying jobs without the education to enable them to support their families. This also means that you have to pay women a living wage, an equal wage. And one of the problems is that the unequal wages paid to women means they have to find other means of supporting themselves and their children, said Dunn. If we eliminated things like sexual harassment and gender-based violence, then we would have women actually participating in the labor force at a level that would enable them to be independent and less dependent on men, said Dunn. On a different tact, anthropologist and the chairman of Fathers Incorporated, Dr. Herbert Gale, said paternity doubts is a major factor of child maintenance non-compliance in Jamaica, citing a 20% incidence of jackets, the Jamaica colloquialism that describes children who are passed off mistakenly or deceptively to men who are not their biological father. Gale said that many men refuse to pay over funds to women because they harbored such suspicions. A number of these fathers being brought before the courts will end up not being the father of the child, or some Jamaican males have a reason to be concerned as to whether or not they are the father of the child, and that is a popular problem, said Gale. Gail said that another factor causing some men to shun child maintenance is that they are socialized to see fatherhood as an ATM. Therefore, if they have low incomes, they would rather pay nothing at all. When we interviewed mothers and children in a study called The Adolescents of St. Catherine, we found in that project that the fathers who live next door come here, wash and take the baby to clinic and school. They were great fathers who were broke. They only got scores of 4 out of 10 from both the children and the mothers. The fathers who were abroad, who didn't see their children for a very long period of time, but made contact once per week, got scores of 9 out of 10 and 10 out of 10. A father is being defined in terms of money, so it means therefore that that kind of structural and cultural definition of fatherhood itself becomes problematic immediately, said Gale. He added that communication problems between spouses was often the basis behind the fathers being brought to family court. Jamaican men, if they have a sense that they can't continue having a relationship with the mother, they deny her money. It becomes a more powerful weapon. In a culture where we pin down a man's importance to money, he uses the money to manipulate the woman in the same way she would have used sex to manipulate him, said Gale. Powerful research. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.